Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. Good morning, folks. Afternoon, good evening, whenever you're consuming this message. A Orlando edition of the Move Swiftly thought out here for something called the Creator Fest here today and tomorrow. Already got the energy going. It was incredible start to the weekend last night on the way. In fact, it was an incredible trip from West Palm Beach to Orlando. Actually pulled over twice to record 2 podcast episodes. Got to the registration, and then they had the networking mixer last night, which I already made some incredible contacts that I'm looking forward to following up with and all that great stuff, right? So, as far as today's Move Swiftly thought, I gotta broach a topic that I've broached, not only broached, I've stepped on, I've talked about, I've written about, done full episodes about, have gone bankrupt about, and have lost everything, got my car repossessed about, which again, and I will continue to fight the good fight. I will continue to fight the good fight. Whoever's willing to listen, whoever's going to hear my point when I say the NFL has got to go to a fucking feeder system. The NFL has got to go to a fucking feeder system, all right? It came out yesterday on my way, actually, from West Palm Beach to Orlando with some heartbreaking news as a die-hard Michigan fan, as a fan of the team and a person that has watched J.J. McCarthy, from his junior year when we lost to TCU and how he bounced back, took the team to a national championship. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I have had my doubts about him, seeing that I am a Michigan fan. I do watch the games, and I know how run heavy we were as a team, how much that bad man, Blake Corum, Blake the Great, how much he depended on not only Blake Corum, but an incredible, the best offensive line in the country. And it was just a smash mouth football. So the quarterback, in regards to his ability to pass and all that, it wasn't seen. I saw glimpses of it, but it was not a lot on film to where there was doubt. We'll say it like this: there was doubt, understandable doubt, in regards to what J.J. McCarthy was going to do at the next level, because he never actually had to drop back and pass the ball on every down. I mean, one of the biggest wins of that championship season was Penn State, where we threw the ball, I believe, once or twice. It was like 30 straight runs or something crazy like that. And we ended up winning the game, right? The one pass that he did throw, it was actually rushed, and I personally, based on the way he released it, he threw it knowing that he was going to get the pass interference call, because he kind of threw it into traffic, and you saw the Penn State player running to the receiver, and he wasn't turned around. So he threw it so quick that it kind of felt like he knew he was going to get the pass interference call, right? So all that being said, it came out that J.J. McCarthy, so all that went on, right? All that went on, championship team, 15-0, led the Michigan Wolverines to a national championship. I never actually get tired of saying that, being a diehard fan, right? It's pretty cool to be able to say national champion Michigan Wolverines, right? So he's the first player from Michigan off the board. Even though, again, as a fan, watch the game and you know that the run game was what propelled us, was the strength of our team. He's the first he's the first player from the Michigan championship team off the board in the first round to the Minnesota Vikings of all teams, right? Minnesota Vikings, who just lost Kirk Cousins, so they needed someone to come in and play right away. And again, not taking anything away from him, but seeing that there was still a lot to prove when you're drafted in the first round. Now you cannot cut these players. You have to give them their guaranteed money. And there's this one of those things where there's no getting around that. That's what the NFL draft has done. Had the NFL draft adopted a feeder system, there's opportunities now for other quarterbacks. Not to say that J.J. McCarthy doesn't deserve to get paid or whatever, but now that he's hurt and he's out for the season, they need to bring in some developmental system. I mean, they put a lot into their first round pick. If there was a feeder system, like an affiliate team for the Minnesota Vikings, let's say it was in Michigan and you call them the Michigan Muskrats or whatever the fuck it is you want to call them, if they have guys that are training that they can call up the same way that they do in baseball, the same way that they do in hockey, the same way that they do in soccer and in basketball, if you got guys that are affiliates with the Minnesota Vikings, now you're able to develop guys and be able to call them up when unfortunate situations like this happen. Now with the way the system is set up, now the draft pick that you've spent so much of your resources on, now you're kind of fucked in so many different ways, because now it's going to be so difficult for you guys to find a replacement, and now you have to depend on damn Sam Darnold of all players. You know, again, another quarterback actually that's been crippled by the lack of a feeder system and by this NFL draft, where again he was taken way too early. I believe it was by the New York Jets. Yeah, the New York Jets, same situation. They took him way too early in the first round, never really actually had the opportunity to develop, and now he's like a journeyman. He's bouncing around from franchise to franchise, and now the Minnesota Vikings are stuck with that guy who's had his opportunities at other places. And when it comes to not having a feeder system, quarterbacks are getting lost, and not just quarterbacks, but just players in general. They're getting lost in the shuffle because they haven't established a solid system. I mean, I'm actually, one of the things that I did make sure I spoke about in regards to the episodes that I recorded yesterday on the podcast was understanding how important the system is, and making a system and creating a system that's working harder than you. The NFL has got to go to a feeder system. It's so very important, because the more hype that this draft creates, the more problems that come up, because this is a rough game. Guys go down, and the developmental system that they have now, there is none. They don't develop the players. They bring them in, they bring them out. It's like a damn factory, and it's ridiculous. So I will keep pushing for this thing. That is one of my life missions, is to see the game I love, the game that has taught me so much about business, about life, is to see it go to a feeder system that's actually creating proper evaluation process for the players. All right. All that being said, I have a whole lot more coming on not only this subject, but what's all the stuff that I'm going to be learning out here in Orlando for the Creator Fest. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.